I got to play Madden 24 over a month early, testing out the new gameplay, franchise mode, the new superstar mode, and the brand new mini games. And today I'm going to reveal as much as I possibly can about Madden 24 without getting sued by this incredible billion-dollar company. And hopefully by the end you'll know whether or not Madden 24 is a game that you actually want to spend your hard-earned money on. First we have the Madden 24 gameplay, and from my experience the biggest difference to me was how the wide receivers caught the football. Compared to the last few Maddens, the receivers seemed so much better at actually catching the football in stride. And on the note of wide receivers though, it also seemed like there was a lot more contested catches, so take that how you want to take it. At least the receivers seemed a lot more fluid with the football. And speaking of fluid, the celebrations also seemed a lot better this season. The years past celebrations have seemed so freaking clunky, so it was a nice change for once to have celebrations that didn't resemble robots. Now from my experience, something that I did notice is that the pre-game intro screens were literally copy and paste from Madden 23. Literally the exact same. I mean, a lot of you out there might not just care, but to me it just seemed kind of lame and kind of lazy. And within the gameplay, I did get to play and test out the brand new mini games without revealing too much to keep EA from sending FBI agents to my front door. From my experience, the mini games were actually pretty fun, and a lot of them were extremely challenging. You definitely get the vibes of the past mini games that used to be in the Maddens back in the day. Now what does blow my mind is that within the mini games, just like in the past Maddens in the Gauntlet game mode, when you go to choose your team for said mini games, you're not allowed to change the team that you're playing against. It's the same glitch that used to be in the Gauntlet game mode, where you would jump into the game mode and it would just randomly select the team you would have to go up against. I don't know if it's a glitch or what, but like, just why can't I pick what team I play against? Like, that's so dumb. You're telling me not one developer at EA Sports noticed that? Speaking of the Gauntlet game mode, this could just be me being a blind moron. Take this with a grain of salt, but I didn't see the Gauntlet game mode anywhere within Madden 24. So I don't know if that means the Gauntlet game mode was completely replaced by the mini games, or the Gauntlet game mode might just not have been in the beta and could be in the game at launch. That might be depressing for some of you that enjoy the Gauntlet game mode in each Madden, but hey, at least we have a brand new scoreboard. I mean, the Madden 24 gameplay was pretty juicy, but not quite as juicy as the new Superstar mode. Face of the franchise is a thing of the past, with the old school Superstar mode taking its place. Now again, without revealing too much so I don't get arrested, I do have to say the pre-draft process leading up to your first regular season in the game mode was a major dub and a massive, and I mean massive improvement from the face of the franchise game mode that we've had the last few seasons. Madden 24 Superstar mode is massively reminiscent of the old school Superstar mode, which I think was the entire point from the get-go. So if you enjoyed the old school Superstar mode, you'll probably enjoy Madden 24 Superstar mode. Now again, take this with a grain of salt, because I didn't get to play through a full regular season because I had limited time. But the downside is once you do get into the regular season, it does seem extremely repetitive, which was the big problem, in my opinion, with Face of the franchise. So again, maybe I just personally didn't make it far enough into the regular season to see some differences, and for all I know, the off seasons could be dope, but to me personally, the pre-draft process was pretty cool, but aside from that, it just still felt like it was missing something. Felt like you did the same things week in and week out. But again, don't get me wrong, still a massive improvement from what we've had in Face of the franchise. So yes, the Superstar career mode was pretty cool, but there's also a Superstar Showdown game mode, which is a 3v3 game mode where you can play with 2 of your friends versus 3 opponents. And to me personally, it felt like a really decent mixture of like Superstar KO and what they tried to do with the Yard. We all know the Yard was so hyped up, but it ended up being a pretty massive failure. And I do personally think that Superstar Showdown does have potential to be what the Yard was supposed to be. It seemed like a really fun game mode if you can actually play with 2 of your friends, but the problem in the beta is that like it didn't work like it was supposed to. But if they can get the game mode squared away to where it actually works at launch, it seems like the perfect game mode to just chill with your friends and not have to sweat to death. Superstar Showdown does seem like a pretty big improvement from the yard, but at the same time, we have to count on EA Sports to get the game mode working properly. And another cool thing about this game mode is the fact that it is supposed to be cross-play, so that is a dub. So if you have friends on other platforms, you should be able to play with them 3v3. Alongside Superstar Showdown, crossplay is supposed to be in head-to-head, Ultimate Team, and Superstar KO. Unfortunately, not franchise. Like, come on, dude, that's what we wanted. And speaking of franchise mode, let me tell you something, boys. Finally, we got some massive improvements. I'd like to thank Factor for sponsoring today's video. Nobody wants to waste their precious summertime going to the grocery store, doing all the prepping, all the cooking and cleaning. And with Factor's fresh and never frozen meals, you get all the flavor and nutritional quality you desire in just 2 minutes. You just gotta heat and enjoy so you can get right back to enjoying your summer. I've been on a weight loss journey over the last 4 months with over 30 pounds down, so Factor's keto meals were perfect for my current goals. Their menus are updated weekly and include 27 plus meals and 33 plus add-on options. They offer keto, calorie smart, chef's choice, and vegan and veggie options, so whatever your goals are, Factor's got you covered. Factor's the perfect option to save time and avoid that unhealthy takeout nonsense. Their chef-prepared meals are delivered prepared and fresh straight to your door. Literally pop them in the microwave for 2 minutes and you'll be ready to devour some nutritional, tasty goodness. Head to Factor75.com or click the link below and use code RBT50 to get 50% off your first Factor box. Once again, that's RBT50 for 50% off your first Factor box at Factor75.com. Some of the improvements I've been screaming and crying for year over year, finally, we get in Madden 24. Of course, they had to damper things immediately with no crossplay. Typical freaking EA Sports. Within franchise mode, though, there are multiple things that I promise will bring a smile to your face. Beginning with the trading, bros. Finally, we are no longer limited to only trading away 3 assets at a time, because finally, we have 6 trade slots to play with in franchise. In your trades, you can use up to 3 players and 3 draft picks, which I guess is fair because you never see 6 draft picks traded at a time, you never see 6 players traded at a time. What this means is that trading and roster reconstruction is so much more fun and you have so much more leeway. And with this massive change, it's finally possible to trade for players like Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen, among others, where in past Maddens, no matter what package that you put together, it was absolutely impossible. Yes, I know, a Patrick Mahomes player is pretty impossible to trade for, but number 1, this is a video game, bro. Let me do what I want to. And number 2, you're telling me if the Bengals offered Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and 3 first-round draft picks, you don't think they would accept that trade? I mean, they would at least have to consider it, right? And with this positive news, I do want to sprinkle in a little negativity. Madden 24 does a really good job of adding in a lot of customization that we haven't had in the past. Something I was really hoping for was the ability to customize divisions, customize conferences, even customize schedule. But as of right now, that does seem like that's a little bit above EA Sports' pay grade. Let's at least be content with the new customization we get within franchise mode. You are able to adjust the difficulty of trading. You can make it really hard to trade for players, or if you just want to have fun, you can make it a lot easier for players. You still can't force trade, which would be nice. But again, I do think this is a step in the right direction. There's also a lot of settings and sliders for free agency, so free agency can really be what you want it to. So for you as the user to at least have a little bit of say in how the trades and free agency goes within franchise mode, I think is a pretty massive dub. And speaking of all these settings that you can adjust within franchise mode to make it how you want it, the draft classes have some pretty big settings that you can personally adjust to make the draft classes exactly like you want it. You do have a say in how deep each position is in each class, but even if you choose to just keep those settings normal, you do get some pretty massive generational prospects that you didn't really get in the years past. Like even on normal, you might get yourself an 81, 82, 83, 84 rated rookie. Obviously, you don't want it to to be overpowered, but at the same time, man, you don't want each draft class to feel the same, which I think was a massive problem in the last few franchise modes. So at least now, if anything, you have quite a bit of control on how your draft classes go. Time to sprinkle in some more negativity. You still can only sign free agents in season to the 1-year set contracts. Like, come on, brother! This has been a thing we've been harping on for years, and it just seems like such a simple change. Just the fact that when you go to sign a free agent in season, you can't even adjust their salary. It's just a set salary. Like, come on, brother. How's that realistic? Oh yeah, that's right. Forgot this is Madden. And another thing I noticed that made me kind of sad is the fact that I only saw like 5 or 6 rookie face scans. Like, come on, bro. You have MLB The Show out there letting you take pictures of your face to put yourself in the game. And you're telling me there's no way other than having physical face scans that you can get some of these faces into the game? Like, come on, brother, you billion-dollar company. This game has got to do a better job of getting more likeness in the game. There are so many star players across the Madden universe that don't have their actual face scans in the game. And with this being the only NFL licensed simulation game out there, you would think some star players like you see on the screen would actually have their face scans in the game. Because let's face it, if like a Patrick Mahomes didn't have his likeness in the game, his player would feel just the same as a freaking Trace McSorley if you bumped his ratings up. Like, somehow they've got to do a better job, because all these generic body types, all these generic faces, all these generic players just really ruin the immersion. Back to the positives, from the few simulations that I did, at least the playbooks don't seem way too overpowered. I'm sure a lot of you will be happy at the fact that each simulation that I ran, Baker Mayfield didn't lead the league in passing every year, because we all know in Madden 23, every simulation you did, somebody on the Bucks was gonna lead the league in passing. That was one of my biggest gripes with Madden 23, and from what I've noticed from the few simulations I did, they at least tweaked that a bit. And one of my personal favorite things that they implemented in the franchise mode is the fact that you can relocate your franchise from the very beginning. No more of having to start your franchise as a team and wait a year or two to be able to move your team elsewhere, so you can kind of have that custom created team feeling. But at least now you can start your franchise and immediately, before you do anything, relocate your team to whatever city you desire. And maybe, just maybe, that increases the possibility of Madden 24 being the year where the rejects return. So hopefully you enjoyed, and this video gave you at least a little bit of insight into Madden 24. And if you did enjoy, you can click right here to watch another video that I promise you won't be a complete waste of your time.